Alright, this is Comix Zone for the Sega Genesis. This is one I picked up loose, but this is one that if you see loose, pick it up. It's a great game. We're going to pop that in, but first I want to mention that you do want to use the 6-button controller for this game, so keep that in mind.
Test 1, 2. Sega.
Okay, first things first is in the controls. You're going to notice this does take advantage of the 6-button controller, as I mentioned. Takes actually really good advantage of the 6-button controller. So the game starts off really basic storyline here. You're playing as Sketch Turner, basically a freelance comic book artist, and you're drawing your comic in a lightning storm, and for whatever reason you get pulled into the comic, and the bad guy in your comic book gets pulled out of the comic. And that's really the basis of this game, is the whole idea of being trapped inside the comic book. The art style and everything is really, it does look like you're playing within a comic book. As you can see here, you have the cells, and you know, each frame you have the word bubbles and everything, and even just the colors and the way the art looks is and of course, as you can see, your enemies get drawn in. So, you know, very unique art style. You know, I think it's probably the first time anything had been done like this. So, you know, it looks awesome. I think it's just an awesome looking game, and it's a good game. It's a little hard and it's a little short. So I mean, it doesn't take long to go through, but it's definitely a hard game. There's no difficulty options. So basically, it plays like a standard beat 'em up. A jumps, or A attacks, sorry. B jumps, and C blocks. And then on the 6-button controller, the X, Y, and Z buttons correspond to your inventory. As you can see in the top right, you can hold 3 items, and it's exactly in the order that you see it on the screen. X is your first item, Y is the second item, and Z is the third item. So it makes sense, and like I said, it works really well with the 6-button controller. If you have the 3-button controller, basically C cycles through your items, and instead of C being block, you automatically block. And then you have to cycle through your item, and then when you have the item picked you want, then you hit your A attack button to use it. So it's a little more complicated with the 3-button controller. And with the 6-button controller, you can still turn on automatic block if you want that feature on. So keep that in mind. This is a late Genesis game. This game came out in 1995, developed by Sega Technical Institute. Strange thing is it also came out for the PC. It came out on 3.5 floppy and on CD-ROM. The CD-ROM version has speech in it, so that's kind of strange, but that was around the time Sega was starting to port over a lot of their older games to Windows 95, so I don't know, it's just kind of weird for the Sega game to come out on the PC at the same time back then, but apparently it did. The music in this game done by Howard Drosen, who also did the music in Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic Spinball, and the Sonic Chaotix, Knuckles Chaotix on the 32X. He's also done the music in a lot of movies, so he's a pretty well-known composer, and it shows. I mean, the music in this game is pretty awesome, and actually when you bought the game, it came with the soundtrack on a CD as well, so that's pretty cool. Like I said, there's not a lot of levels in this game. There's 3 levels, 3 main levels anyways. You're seeing me playing through the first level. Obviously they're a little bit longer. Each level has sort of 2 sub-levels to it, but there's only 3 main levels in the game, so it's not a very long game, like I said, but it's a little bit hard. So this is basically, we've beaten the first half of the first level. Like I I said, there's two parts. There's two sub-parts to each level. So this is still technically the first of the 3 levels. There, I'm just healthing up as one of your items. There's health there. Here there's a puzzle. I guess there's a lot of puzzles in this game, which is one cool thing I like about this game. Other than a typical beat 'em up, there are some puzzles. Here's an example: is you can use your mouse there, and he'll sneak under the fan and pull the lever on the other side to stop it. Or I just happen to have the explosives on me still, so I use that. But your mouse does help you throughout the game. You can let him loose at any time. You can let him loose. He's an inventory item, as you can see there, and he'll actually search the cell you're in for a secret. So there's a lot of little secrets throughout the game. There's hidden items, basically, and your mouse can help you find them. Here you can see you can just push the box in through this fan to get past this part. So once again, a little bit of a puzzle. And sometimes the boxes, you just use them as steps, so move them to the right spot. So here you can also see sometimes they give you the choice as to which direction you can take. That happens often in this game. So there's like different paths that you can take. There's more explosives there. And you can use the explosives on the guys, obviously, too, but sometimes they come in handy to blow something open, especially if it's something you have to hit a lot of times, because you take damage when you hit things, even just items in the game, like the boxes and stuff in the game that sometimes you need to break to get past. Is actually anything that your character hits, it hurts them a little bit, so keep that in mind as well. Let's see, we're working our way down. I just let the mouse out here. You can see he wanders around. If there's a secret in the level, he'll sort of point it out for you. And here's another puzzle. This one's pretty basic. You just have to line up the 2 little arms so they make like a electrical connection. You get to the next part of the game. This is just like the mini boss level here. And then you fight through this and you get to the end boss. And then you're done the first of the 3 levels. So like I said, it only takes you about 10 minutes to get through each level, and there's only 3 levels in the game, but it's definitely a hard game. And I'm hurting pretty bad here. I don't know if I'm going to beat this boss or not, but it's fine because we're running out of time anyways. And, you know, there we go, I'm dead. And as you can see, I get drawn in black and white, and then the pencil comes and crosses me out. And then you get a little cutscene when you die, of course. This is the bad guy that came out of the comic is now permanently out of the comic. You're permanently in the comic. And he's gonna rock the world. But yeah, it's definitely a wicked game. It's definitely worth checking out. here it shows your score when you're done. Like you can see there, we got 22% into the game, so not a very long game, but definitely worth having.